What's up my peeps, I'm here with another prediction game video for a match that's gonna take place this Sunday at SummerSlam. It is going to be the Viper Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns in Reigns' first one-on-one singles match on pay-per-view. That's right, up until now, Reigns hasn't had a one-on-one match on pay-per-view since really debuting. Since the Shield made their debut, whenever Reigns has been on a pay-per-view, it's been in some sort of tag team match or a multi-man match like the Rumble or Money in the Bank. Well, actually not Money in the Bank, but the ladder match for the championship, and recently the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And even when it comes to Seth Rollins, a former Shield member, his first singles match on pay-per-view was at Battleground, if you even count that as a singles match, since he technically won by forfeit, but he didn't actually really compete against Ambrose. So you could consider Seth Rollins' first matchup at Battleground or this Sunday at SummerSlam when he takes on Ambrose in a Lumberjack match. And as far as Ambrose, he was actually the only Shield member to compete in one-on-one action on a pay-per-view when they were as a unit, as the Shield, Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns, because he was the United States champion while Reigns and Seth Rollins were tag team champions, so he was defending that title obviously in one-on-one competition. Now, enough about that, and let's actually focus on this match right here. And what's funny about this is, a couple months back, I thought it would be Reigns versus Triple H at SummerSlam, and I think a lot of people thought that too. And there was a lot of websites, also talking about that, saying that, at SummerSlam we might see Reigns versus Triple H. And it looked like, that would be what we'd see, because from what was happening on TV, it made sense. The thing is, though, Reigns versus Randy also makes sense, and even though he's not facing Triple H, this is a pretty big match for Reigns' first one-on-one pay-per-view match. I mean, he's facing a former Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner, former World Champion, WWE Champion, the first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Keep in mind I said WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I know Jericho is the first undisputed champion. Just in case anybody in the comment section, is like, no, Jericho is the first one. Yeah, but well, kind of. Well, Jericho held the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Anyways, I don't want to talk about unrelated things here, so, yeah. You know what? With this match, initially, I thought it was a fairly difficult match to predict. Not as hard to predict as Ambrose versus Seth Rollins or Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon, though. In my opinion, those two matches are the hardest matches to predict on the card for SummerSlam. But initially I was like, you know what, I could see Randy maybe winning this match. But then, upon thinking it out some more, which I do a lot with my predictions, I have a tendency with predictions to really want to get them right, so I just spend a lot of time just thinking, oh, what if this, no, this guy wins because of that, no, you know what, that wouldn't work because, I just think about it a lot. Probably a bit too much, actually. But, yeah, initially, I was actually leaning towards Randy a bit. But then I was like, no, you know what? This is Reigns we're talking about here. And Reigns, really since he's separated from the Shield, but really since he debuted, Reigns has looked strong. Within the Shield, he was like the strongest looking member. He would always, well, not always, but most of the time, he would get the pinfall for the team. A lot of the Shield matches ended with a spear, and whenever the Shield would lose, which wouldn't happen often, oftentimes it would be Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose losing. The only times I remember the Shield losing and Reigns being the one getting pinned was when the Wyatt family started their feud with the Shield. I believe in both those matches, because they had two matches. Actually, they had three matches, but one of them the Shield won. But in both the matches the Wyatt family won, they pinned Reigns. But even then, I mean, the first match where they did pin Reigns, where Bray Wyatt hit Sister Abigail, covered him, they had taken out Seth Rollins and Ambrose, so it was pretty much a 3-on-1 situation. And just whatever match he was in, he looked strong. I mean, I look back at Survivor Series 2013 or whatever, when it was the Shields, and I think Cody and Damien Sandow might have been the Shield's partners or something like that. I'm not sure who their partners were. Actually, it might have been Cesaro and Jack Swagger. Who knows? But it was the Shield, 2 other superstars against the team of Rey Mysterio, Goldust, Cody, and I don't remember who else. But in that match, Reigns ended up being the sole survivor, and in the end, taking out Two Faces to get the win for his team. You look back at the Rumble. Of course, he broke Kane's record, ended up being the runner-up in the Rumble, the last to be eliminated. And there's just a ton of situations like that. And I'm forgetting some. Also, he was in a match against CM Punk one-on-one on Old School Raw, and he beat Punk. Basically, Reigns, obviously, they've got big plans for him, and you see it also every single week on Raw, where he'll oftentimes just, beat everybody up. If he's in a handicap match, one-on-one match, if there happens to be like an attack on him, 2 superstars attacking him, it's not a surprise when Reigns pulls off the spear, takes him out. And for SummerSlam here, I understand that Randy so far, really since WrestleMania 30 when he lost the title, he hasn't gotten, a significant victory. On pay-per-view at least. Since WrestleMania, Randy has not won a single pay-per-view match. But he's won recently some significant matches. He's gotten some good wins on Raw, SmackDown. I mean, he beat Ambrose, he beat Sheamus recently on Raw, who, of course, is a former world champion, all that stuff. You guys get the point. And basically, because of Randy, not getting a big win since WrestleMania, I was thinking maybe, maybe Randy wins this match. And then maybe Reigns wins, the second match in the feud. Because I don't think this is going to be their last match. A feud like this, I think, is going to last at the very least, 2 pay-per-view matches. So, this one and Night of Champions. They might even extend it to 3 matches, with the final match being at Hell in a Cell. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure that whatever happens here, whether Randy wins or Reigns wins, there's going to be a rematch at Night of Champions. And I was thinking Randy wins the first one, and then Reigns wins the second one, because Randy hasn't gotten a win since, I was going to say WrestleMania, but he lost at WrestleMania. He hasn't gotten a pay-per-view win since Elimination Chamber. But then I was like, no, you know what? But on the other hand, you got Reigns, who right now at SummerSlam, he's got his first ever singles match, and it's real obvious they're giving him this big push, which, I think is definitely going to lead to him holding the World Heavyweight Championship at some point at WrestleMania. At least, that's what I think we all expect Reigns, to get a title shot at WrestleMania, but who knows? That's far away. Let's focus on SummerSlam here. And I don't see him losing here. And especially, like I said, because this is his first one-on-one match on pay-per-view. And usually in a feud, when it's the first match in the feud, I know they've had a couple matches like on Raw. I think they've had 2 matches on Raw before, one on Raw, one on SmackDown, and I'm not sure. But those matches ended in a disqualification. There wasn't a clear winner. And the feud hadn't started at that time between Reigns and Randy. So usually in a feud, when it starts, oftentimes I'll go with the heel. Heel wins the first match, and that kind of gives a reason for the feud to continue. A perfect example of that is Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, where Ambrose is chasing Seth Rollins, and if he gets the win in the first match, then why continue chasing Rollins? It just, doesn't make sense. But in this case here, it makes sense because the whole story here is Randy wants to get a title shot. He wanted to get the title shot at SummerSlam, but because of Reigns, he wasn't able to get that. And Triple H told him, until you get rid of Reigns, you won't get a title shot because he's going to stop you every single time. So, for the feud to continue here, if Randy wins the first match, then he's kind of gotten rid of Reigns. So really, there's not that much reason for the feud to continue. But if Reigns wins, it gives the feud a reason to continue, and it gives Randy a reason to continue on, you know, attacking Reigns or trying to get rid of Reigns, because Reigns is obviously still a thorn in his side. He's still in his way of getting what he wants. So, my pick still remains, and that is Roman Reigns, and you can believe that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button. With that said, I'm out. See ya.